the June garden walk. In this video, we will be covering the patio as well as the middle portion of the garden. So, turn around and get started. So over here on the patio, I believe I shared with you guys some of the seedlings that I've been working on, and just a quick update on how they're doing. They have taken off. I'm going to insert that video in this one as cards, so you guys can go back and look at it. But I planted these on the 5th of June, and they are still continuing to grow. So if you look, you'll see the radishes are starting to get on their second leaf. Well, it looks like that might be the third, so I think they might be ready to move on to bigger pots or the ground. You will also see that the okra is just doing so amazing. I had so many issues with growing okra. I didn't get to grow any last year because it just didn't germinate for me. But maybe it has, no, I can't even say that it has something to do with the seed packets because these are the same ones. I kept them, I just said forget it last year. I was like, whatever. So I'm very, very excited to be growing this corn too.
This is the colored corn, and I'm really excited to get that in the ground to see where that actually goes and how it actually comes up. I want to say to the new gardener, don't be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. I believe that the first year, and probably even the second year, everything you do is probably somewhat of an experiment, because even if you take time to binge watch all of those in the gardening community that you know have more experience than you, which is everybody, it will be customized to your zone. It will be customized to your soil. All those conditions will apply. So just take some time to be patient with yourself. And if one thing doesn't work, try something else. So that is what I have to say to the new gardener, which includes myself on many occasions. Just be patient. It's so much easier said than done, I know, but it's gonna come. If you keep trying and you put that effort and you sow that seed, it's gonna grow up. So I planted some peppers because I bought peppers, some Bonnie plants from Walmart, and I put them out and they just did not do well, have not done well. So I'm trying again. I refuse to be defeated. So I am trying again to get the peppers that I want. I want red peppers. I'm talking about bell pepper, red, yellow, and green bell peppers in the garden. And I think I have some seeds for some orange peppers as well. And so I got this rooting hormone because I am actually going to be doing some things. I'm in a very experimental stage, and starting probably tomorrow, I'm going to be taking some cuttings from my trees, like the peach tree and the nectarine tree, and see if I can, I want to do some air layering, but I also just want to take some cuttings and see if I can get them to root. And so that's why I got that rooting hormone. Let me come over here. This is red Russian kale. That is growing up very nicely. I'm so happy about that. This plant is also supposed to be heat resistant. So that's one of the things you will see in this garden for this summer. I did take the time to make sure that what I put in here is heat resistant. And that way the success rate will be a little bit better for me. If you look down here, this is some more of my experimentation. I did try to take a piece of that, I think it's a lemon tree right here, that I chopped down, and I did put some, scrape the bottom of it, and I put some rooting hormone on it. I'm going to see what happens with that. I tried to replant some things that I grew in a different pot, and they don't look like they're happy. So I don't know, we're gonna come back to that. We'll see. In this pot right here, this is some I put sage in here, and also this is some lavender. and they are growing very, very, very slowly. So I have a little. I also have been using this tree since I've been here to bring chimes in, and I got this from Big Lots too. It's a butterfly. I'm becoming quite the chime person. My mother started it, and I feel like I need to continue it on because I love them. I love to hear the chimes when the wind is blowing. And so I got several hanging in this magnolia tree. These, let me see, two plants right here. I'm gonna put this coffee down so I can use my pointing finger. That one right there, and this one were eggplants that I had from last year. Now this one does not have anything growing on it so far, but this one does. I thought I saw it. But it actually has an eggplant on it, and this one is actually loaded with blooms. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted coming on here, and I put a yellow tie on it for stability, because if it actually gets all those 6 eggplants at one time, it's gonna put a strain on this plant, and it actually needs to be stabilized. These I just got this year. These are also eggplants. I don't know what that is on here, but it kind of looked like they was trying to get some powdery mildew for a minute. I have no idea, and I'm not trying to find out right at this moment. I just want to see what happens if I just leave it alone. I've been hearing a lot of people say that in my gardening community. It's just let nature or let things run its course and see what happens. Don't take any of the insects out of their own environment, and plant a few extra things so that the little people that are out here, no, I'm just kidding, yeah, insects and stuff and critters can actually be able to feed themselves. We don't want to feed them too much, but so I'm gonna go into this pot right here. This is some crimson watermelon that I have in here, and also, something is tearing this up. Break this off of here. Ooh, that's not where I wanted that to go. I don't know what's eating up this. These are collards that I have in here. I wish they would stop, because y'all know the issues that I've had with growing collards. Now that I finally get it, something is trying to eat on it. This is a collard too. That looks good. But these other ones right here are crimson watermelon, and they look like they're doing very nicely. Not now, but pretty soon I will be transplanting them somewhere else. I believe that I'm going to be putting them over there by that trellis, by the gazebo area, but not sure. This right here is another eggplant, and it is really growing, because when I first put it in, which was I think about a week ago, it wasn't this tall. It hadn't grown up this much. Down here in this pot is some echinacea, and I planted quite a bit in here, but I don't only see one coming up so far. In this pot right here, I put in some collards. I have a pineapple top that I put in here because I want to see what's going to happen with it. And also radish and collards are in here as well. And this one especially seems to be the strongest one. But I'm gonna move it really soon here. I don't know where, but I'm gonna move it. Because it is definitely should be big enough its root system should be big enough for transplanting at this time. And then what I'm going to be doing, because I keep it covered on most days from the blazing sun, and then expose it probably a few hours to the sun. I'm gonna move it though. so it could hold its own. I believe it's ready. I'm not sure yet where, but I will. Let's come along over here. Now, these roses that I cut back came in so beautifully, and they have all just kind of died. I mean, I didn't expect it to last forever, but I might help it out by just taking all of them off and waiting for the others to grow, because it just look like a bunch of dead roses right now, but they're healthy dead roses. In this pot right here, I transplanted this collard that you see in there. I transplanted that from a big pot that I have over there on the patio. And this right here, that is sweet potato, and it is doing very nicely. If you look in there, and like I said, in the first year, everything is pretty experimental. You will see the sweet potato is actually in there. These are new slips that have grown. I stuck the naked sweet potato in there, and that sweet potato I had cleaned off and actually planted those slips somewhere else. And within about a week, all of these have come back, and they are way better than the ones that I actually took off of there. So, yep, this is new. So I'm gonna see. I don't want to mess with them. I just want to see what happens if I just leave it alone. That right there is a compost that I have on there in that metal pan, and those little pots right there, I have some strawberries that I actually put in there. And this area right here, that is some corn that I planted. I was told that this is a good time at the end of June, beginning of July, to succession plant. And basically what that means is if you already have planted something, go ahead and plant the same thing later, so that your harvest is not all at one time. So this corn will be coming up very soon. I just did it a few days ago. I've been wetting this down just to kind of soften the soil. And let me see, is that it coming up already? No, that's some grass sticking out. But this is the first time that I planted in this area. I just kind of carved out, when I moved the leaves, I just kind of carved out this area and just said I'm going to just keep wetting it down to moisten the soil, and then I'll plant something in it soon. It has not been amended. I didn't do anything. I didn't put anything over there. So we'll see what happens with that. So back to this compost pile. I'm doing the same thing that I basically did over there with those tires. I'm putting scraps from the kitchen, as well as pulp from my juicing, and in hope that, because there's nothing keeping the juices that flow or the breakdown or the stuff that is actually decomposing into the soil to actually feed whatever surrounding roots it may come in contact with. So the same thing I'm trying to do with this. It's a metal pan, and I drilled some holes, not in the bottom, but along the side. And so when I water, whatever is in there is some grass, weeds, pulp from my juicing, some rotten food that I bought out here, and not any kind of meat or dairy. You basically just want to use fruits and veggies that have gone bad. I don't even put bread out here. I don't buy that much of it in the first place, but just those are the things that are in my compost piles. I drilled a hole, and when I water, I make sure that I get it. I don't turn it. And so anything that drains out from the holes goes into the soil and is actually feeding whatever's in the surrounding area, just like the idea with the tires. And here is my dinosaur kale that has gone to seed. Now, something that I thought was really, really odd is I just opened up a couple of these as a sample, and there was no seeds in it. So I thought that was kind of odd. Let me see. I'm trying to open up one now so I can show you. Yep. So you look in there, I just open that up. There are no seeds in there. So, what a loser. No, I'm just kidding. Let me just come back here and share with you. Right there, sunflowers. I planted a bunch of sunflowers back here. And the hope is to have enough sunflowers to cover this whole back wall, which is what is going to be so absolutely beautiful. I love sunflowers. So I have sunflowers over here that are already growing. And I want to tell you, Miss Linda over at New Orleans Gardener, that I planted the nasturtium. I actually got them and I planted them, and they are growing. They're growing very nicely. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sunflowers over here that are coming along. So what's going to happen with the succession planting, like I said, is these are going to come along, and then soon, because sunflowers don't take very long, the hotter it is, the quicker they actually grow. And so it's been very gloomy over here this past week. It's today, Thursday. Yeah, it's been very gloomy. And so they're growing as fast as they were when it was extremely hot out here. Now, I'm happy to be getting the break, but, you know, for those plants that thrive on the heat, they might be taking a little bit of a break right now because of the coolness.
Did you see that? They are growing up to be kale trees. And I'm allowing that because I'm gonna pick some of these right now so that I can actually have in today's juice. Yeah. This is an awesome thing to be able to do, you guys. So that's what I just did. I'm gonna put that in my juice for the day. And I just do this every other day or so. I'll just come out here and get a handful, because there's enough of them. Do you see that? There's enough of them for me just to get a handful to go in my juice with some celery and be happy. So,
let's see, these are the tomatoes that I talked about the other day. It is full of them. And so there's enough here so that when I get ready to harvest them, I will be able to, you know, put them in a very small jar and preserve them, or even, because these are cherry tomatoes, I might just even put them in my salad. I don't know. We'll see. So let's scoot along over here, you guys. More kale. There are more strawberries. Look, so you can see there's a lot of strawberries coming. Yes, and this is really growing. I had got a bunch of them from Amazon, and only this is the surviving. There was a pack of 25, and this is the surviving one. What is this coming down? That's a strawberry. Oh, look at that. That's a strawberry. So I take that back. That is not the only surviving one. There's 2 if this actually does anything. I'm actually experimenting with some stuff in the kitchen with some strawberries. I made some strawberry jam, or a jam that has strawberries in it. And I actually cut some of the seeds away, and I'm gonna bring them out here and plant them and see what happens. Because I tried that last year and it didn't work. Nothing worked for me last year. But let me move them right along. These is cucumbers. They look pretty sad, but I'm hoping that they will continue to grow. I'm gonna thin them out because I think they're ready. I'm gonna thin them out, and ooh, it's a hummingbird flying right up over my head. Okay. So I'm gonna thin those out and see what happens. over here is my sweet potatoes that I have in this clear container. I want to be able to see them grow. And so, let me see something. Got this handful of, yep, they are actually starting. I want them to vine up, not this way though. It's not where I want you to go, guys. So, okay. So that's what's going on over here. These are the purple sweet potatoes that I actually took from that sweet potato you saw over there. This is some onions that I planted and tomatoes that I planted. Let's see. These are, if you look at these really closely, I'm going to take these tops off. These are the celery that I have allowed to go to seed. And so I'm going to chop the tops of those off. Another thing that I'm going to do over here is this is actually corn coming along right here. And because of where I planted, I don't think it's getting enough sun. So I'm actually going to saw off this area of this kumquat tree so they will have the opportunity to continue to grow. Let's see. I want to share with you guys one more thing. Ooh. So here is this trellis that I put up here, the fan trellis, and then I grabbed some of these flowers from Big Lots. I love them. They're so beautiful. And if you look in here, I want to share something with you guys. This right here from that pot that I just got over there is a cucumber. These are watermelon. And if you look a little bit closer, you will see those growths right there, right there, right there. Let me see, right there and right there. That actually looks like a corn. I think I may have stuck one of the colored corn in here to see what actually happens. But I don't remember. Look, I don't remember. So I wanted to share with you what these little guys in here that are growing. Those are Cuca Melons, and I received those from a fellow gardener that was watching one of my lives late in the midnight hour. I was out here doing a live at night, and he suggested, his name is Turf Therapy, suggested that I grow Cuca Melons. And I was like, what is a Cuca Melon? I don't know what a Cuca Melon is, and send me some. And so I got this package in the mail, and it wasn't addressed from him. So I was like, I don't know what these are and who they're from. But as I read the package, I realized it was Cuca Melon. And I said, I wonder, but I didn't know because his address wasn't on there. And so I did another live, and when he came into it, I said, did you send those Cuca Melon? And he said yes. So I just want to say this is what's growing on with the Cuca Melons, and I am so grateful. I am beyond grateful. If you'd like to send me seeds, feel free to do so, and I will also share with you how they're growing in this yard, in this, I want to say this zone. And these came up, I just planted them, so they came up probably within a few days. Yep, I just stuck them right in. Usually if I get something I'm excited about it goes right into a pot or the ground. I don't care what zone I'm in, I just want to see how they do. And so that is gonna do it for this part 2 of my garden walk, my June garden walk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. And I will see you on part 3 of the June garden walk. Grow with love, everybody. Grow with love.